Good evening to Dr. Muharim. I'm Eddie Kowehong from Group 7. So my group mate has Hayden, Jenny, and Zayat. So for me, I will responsible to part introduction, and Jenny will responsible to part 1. Hayden will responsible to part 2, and Zayat will responsible to conclusion. So for introduction, for problem backgrounds, in computing, a benchmark is the act of running a computer programs, a set of program, or another operations in order to assess the relative performance of an object, normally by running a number of standard tests and trials against it. In other words, a benchmark is simply a test that is used to compare similar products. A computer benchmarking program works by running a series of well-defined tests on the PCs to measure its performance. With the high speed of development of technology in this work, benchmarking has become a powerful tool for assessing and comparing the capabilities and efficiency of numerous computing solutions. In other words, benchmarking provides us a valuable insight into our computer's strengths, weaknesses, and overall performance. There are several tools that can be used for benchmarking. For example, CPU Z, species, C software, Sandra Light It, Flex, and much more. Therefore, benchmarking allows us to identify bottlenecks, optimize resource, and enhance the overall performance of their computers. So the aim of the project is the purpose of this project is to measure our computer device performance throughout several testing. Throughout this project, we are able to identify our computer's limitations and performance, as we can see that different type of computers have different hardware components which will affect the performance. Therefore, we can carry out particular tasks on different computers to evaluate its performance so that we can have a clear understanding about our computer's abilities. And for the objective of the project, are to identify the hardware specification of our personal laptops, record and compare the initial result of benchmarking with teammates' computers, and record the result of benchmarking after several hours, and record the peak hours that the CPU of the laptop has reached, and the last one is compare and evaluate the outcomes. For the scope of the project, we will use two different laptops which are Acer Predator Helios 300 PH315457G9. This computer is Hayden's computer, and Dell Inspiron 153,000, and this is Jenny computers to carry out the project task. Other than that, we use several benchmarking software tools in this project like CPU-Z and Species. So in CPU-Z, it is a freeware that gathers information on some of the main device of system, which are processor name and number, code name, process, package and cache levels, mainboard and chipset, memory type, site, timing, and module specifications, real-time measurement of each code's internal frequency and memory frequency. And then the other one is Species. It is a free evaluation tool for Microsoft Windows PCs components. The application delivers details system information reports on the individual software and hardware elements in the computer or laptops. Audio, CPU, graphics, motherboard, network, operating system, optical drive, peripherals, and RAMs and storage. We can review a throughout summary within the first step in the user interface. So these software tools will be used to evaluate the performance of CPU and hardware components so that we can determine which one is better in terms of CPU and hardware performance. First of all, we will identify and compare the hardware components that exist in our computer like CPU, graphic cards, RAMs, and so on that I say just now, which is here. And secondly, we will run the CPU test using CPU Z and species several times to see which laptop give the best performance. So that is all from the introduction. So I will pass to Jenny to continue part 1.
Dr. Mohali, I Lee from Section 5, Group 7. Today I'm going to explain about the group project of computer organization architecture for part 1. So for the part 1 is about the benchmarking of the laptop. And this is the flow chart of the benchmarking process. So first, we will prepare a proposal for the project. Secondly, we will identify the computer's specification of our laptop. Then record and compare the initial result of benchmarking between two laptops. Then we will run the benchmarking several times. After that, we will record the peak performance that the CPU has achieved. Finally, then we will compare and analyze the result of two laptops. And this is the model of the two laptops that we use. The first one is Acer Predator Helios 300 and Dell's Inspiration 3000. And this is their specification. And first, we use BESI app to identify the specification of the laptops. This is the specification. Then after we use the CPU Z to benchmarking the laptop at it. So this is the first hour of usage between these two laptops. And as you can see, the Acer Predator got reach a multi-thread ratio of 9.75 and Dell Inspiron 3000 reach multi-thread ratio of 4.57. And after 3 hours, the Acer laptop got the Acer laptop multi-thread ratio decreased to 7.69, but the Dell Inspiron 3000 increased to 5.76. And then after 5 hours, the Acer Predator headers multi-thread ratio decreased to 6.8, and the Dell Inspiron 3000 decreased to 5.42. So it shows that there is no significant decrease or increase in the Dell Inspiron 3000, and for the Acer Predator Helios, although the multi-thread ratio decreased over time, but it still overperformed Dell Inspiron 3000. So in conclusion, we can say that the Acer Predator Helios 300 has better performance in this three comparison. That's all from me. Thank you.
Greeting to Dr. Mohalin. I am Hayden Huang Ki Jun from Group 7, and today I want to discuss about the part 2 of our group project. So now, for the overview, the part 2 for this project is about the flowchart of the execution, the coding and documentation, execution and result for the program, and we will analyze, compare, and discuss about the result between for the two laptops. So here is the flowchart for the execution. This is the first one, which is looking for 1000 times. First of all, I'll read the variable x equal to 7 and total equal to 0, where I also will initialize other four others variable, which is output, number of num loop, val total, and time. This is what they represent for. Then we will read EAX by calling get msequence, this function, and storing EAX before starting the calculation for equation. Then I will store the value as EAX in mset1. After that, I will store the EAX in value into the mset1 and total equal to 0. And I will set the times for looping, which is 1000 times. Then I will go into the looping section, this part. And for this, inside this looping, it represent an equation which is y equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then it will loop for 1000 times. After finish the looping, we will read EAX again by calling get m seconds. We will store the value in EAX after complete the calculation. And then we will store again the value into mset2, which is this line, represented by this line. Then the CPU time is equal to EAX. For the below part, this is represent the printing for the output section. This is this EAX equal to 1000, which will print out to this. Sorry, the number of looping is 1000, and then it will print EAX and total value total. Then EAX will equal to the total. Then it will print total value of total again. Then for the last part, it will print for the time taken for CPU to run the program. For the next two looping, which is 10K and 100K, which means that I just need to change the ECX, which is used for looping, and also change the value here. Then we'll go into the coding part. For this part, I will show by the Visual Studio. And I will show my Visual Studio. Okay. For this part, I initialize all the data and variable that I need. And then this part is the output part. When I run the program, it will show me the output. Then this is the main part. For this one, this is the first one I call mset, and I shall store it in EAX, and then I move it into mset1. Then the total is equal to 0, and I set the looping times to 1K, which is 1000. Then I will start my looping here, or looping here. Then I initialize the s equal to 7 because we are loop 7. Okay. This all represent inside this looping, as I said before, it represent an equation y equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. So we will do this calculation for 1000 times. Okay. After complete the calculation, we will call this again to get the second, and I will store it into the mset2. Then we will calculate for the CPU elapsed time by subtract the mx1 from EAX and move the value that we get into the CPU time. Then for this part, for this all part, I will display the output. Oh, sorry, here got some. Okay. Then I will start to show by pressing F5. Sorry, I have to show another screen. Okay. I believe that you can see that since I use 1K to loop to do the equation, so the number of looping is 1000, and this is our equation 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then this is the value of total, and my CPU time taken in millisecond is equal to 0. For the next two, for the 10K and 100K is also the same. We just change the ECX value and also the output value for EAX, which is the display part. Then I will continue for my, what do we call? we are going to see the result for the between the two laptops. That's the part. Okay, looking for 1K. This is my laptop and this is my groupman laptop. It shows that they are similar. Then for 10Ks, the Dell Inspiron 3000 is needs 1 millisecond to run this program. But for the Acer Predator is still maintain 0. Then until the 100K times for looping, the Acer is still maintain 0, but for the Dell is increased until 2 milliseconds. So we go next to the analysis, comparison, discussion part. From the results of execution for looping a calculation for math equation y equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 1, we can see clearly that with different specification of hardware components will affect the performance of execution time. For the 1K looping for the equation, we can notice that since the number of looping is not big enough, so there's no difference in CPU time taken for execution the equation calculation between two laptops, Acer and Dell. They tap the same time, which is 0 milliseconds to finish the looping. Therefore, in this condition, they have the same performance. And for the 10K looping, we can notice that since the number of looping is increased 10 times than before, so there is slightly difference in CPU time taken for execution, the equation calculation between two laptops. For the Acer, it takes 0 milliseconds, and for the Dell, it takes 1 second to finish the looping. So in this condition, I believe that Acer have a better performance than Dell Inspiron. Then for the last program that we run, which is 100K times of looping for the equation, we also can see that since the number of looping is increased 10 times compared to 10K looping, there's a big difference in CPU time taken for execution the equation calculation. The Acer still maintains 0 millisecond and the Dell needs 2 milliseconds to finish the looping. So in this condition, Acer Predators has better performance than Dell Inspiron. In conclusion, by comparing the three results for 1K, 10K, and 100K looping for the execution of math equation, you can notice that both devices have the same CPU time taken for execution when it takes only 1K times of looping. For the 10K and 100K times of looping, Acer has better performance than Dell in 10K times of looping. Acer used 0 millisecond to finish the looping, whereas Dell takes 1 millisecond to finish, which is slightly slower than Acer. Moreover, for 100,000 times of looping, Acer used 0 millisecond to finish the looping, whereas Dell used 2 milliseconds to finish the looping. So, as a conclusion, it is sufficient evidence to say that Acer has better hardware specification, and we can believe that better hardware components will perform better and more effectively in Word. That's all for part 2. Thank you.
Hello, this is Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Jihad Medhat Omar from Section 5, Group 7, Dr. Muhallim. So today we have been diving deep into the world of benchmarking and uncover the performance differences between two popular laptops, the Acer Predator and Dell Inspiron 300, 153000. So after various testing and analysis, we have arrived at some fascinating conclusions. So let's jump right into it. So in terms of CPU performance, it was clear from the start that the Acer Predator had the upper hand throughout our three benchmarking scenarios. And this beast of a machine outperformed its Dell counterpart in three different scenarios, as we mentioned. We can see here the first hour, 3 hours, and even after 5 hours into testing, we can see that the Acer Predator maintained a higher multi-thread ratio from the first hour. We can see it's very obvious, very clear the ASA Predator had the upper hand in this testing. So furthermore, when it comes to executing equations with various loop sizes, the ASA Predator emerged as the clear winner yet again. As number of loop increased, this from let's see, I'm sorry, 1 second. Inshallah. So as we said, with the various loop sizes, this powerhouse, the ASA Predator, consistently showcased a faster CPU compared to the Dell and Spyron. We can see here we had 10K, the first one with 1K loop, 1K time. All right, so the second one, we increased the loop 10K times. So we start with 1K, 10K, then we move to the 100K. We can see that from the timing, the ASA Predator again outperformed Dell. So this is for the ASA Predator. This indicates its exceptional computational performance and ability to handle resource-intensive tasks with ease. So, and after checking the results and see all this analysis, it comes to one very cool question, very important question. What do this benchmarking results mean for us as a consumer, or benefit us as a consumer? Well, it's all about finding the right fit for our specific needs. For example, if you are a gamer and you're looking for immersive and smooth experience, gaming experience, undoubtedly, Acer Predator is the way to go. Its high-end components and powerful graphic capabilities and perfect CPU performance, it's perfect for you as a gamer. But on the other hand, if you're looking for, if you prioritize, let's say them that way, if you prioritize your stability and reliability for everyday office work, the Dell won't let you down. While it may not match the performance level of the Acer counterpart, but it showcased a steady and dependable CPU performance through our benchmarking processes. In other words, we can state that benchmarking is a crucial tool in terms of understanding our computers' capabilities and limitations. By researching the hardware, fascinating that, by researching the hardware specifications and watching videos, online videos about benchmarking, we can make informed decisions with when selecting a computers that aligns with our specific requirements and fit us the best. So I believe benchmarking is a very, very, very important tool in terms of understanding and making the best decision when it comes to selecting computers for our requirements and needs. Thank you for watching and have a good day.
For the next one, I would like to do some self-reflection after finish this project. Throughout this project, I have learned how important hardware components are for a computer. When I undergo the comparison of benchmarking and execution of a math equation for 1,000, 10,000, and 1,000 times of the looping, I can see clearly how hardware components contribute to our daily work on computer, like shortening the execution time for a program. Therefore, this project let me have a deeper knowledge and understanding about hardware components of computers. That's all from me. Thank you.
For reflection, in this project, there is a lot of new knowledge I have gained during discussion or exploration during coding. For example, in the lecture modules, the knowledge of the coding in Visual Studio is just a small part. So while during this project, we have to explore new things ourselves about how to use core white strings and core CRLF and so on. So the knowledge we gain during this project is very precious and we can use in others' works.
For the reflection of this project, throughout this project, we conducted a comprehensive analysis of different computers' performance to evaluate their hardware capabilities by thoroughly identifying, comparing, and documenting the CPU models, graphic cards, RAM, and storage. I have gained a deep understanding of components that contribute to the overall performance, and it is crucial for each component to work together to maximize the performance. Even if a computer has a new and powerful CPU, but the other components such as graphic card, RAM, and storage are outdated, the overall performance will be limited. Therefore, selecting highly compatible and high-quality components is the key when selecting, building, or upgrading a computer.